Denise, Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, Denise, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm your host, Denise Salcedo, and today we're going to be discussing the December 1st edition of AEW Dynamite. We got lots to get into here tonight, but first and foremost, I want to welcome each and every single person onto this show. I'm very excited, whether you're a regular, whether you're a new person, a new viewer, whatever the case may be. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I do recap the show in a very nice chronological format, so we'll go through the entire show, talk about things we love, talk about things we didn't love, etc. Additionally, I do want to let you guys know that this is a very interactive stream, so please make sure to be active in the chat, send in your thoughts, send in your opinions. I will be reading people's comments throughout the show. Additionally, if you guys want to get your comment, question, or statement read on this show, 100% guaranteed, or your money back. I never give your money back, but you guys can go ahead and send in a super chat. If you do send in a super chat, I will make sure to read your comment on this show. Additionally, F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of all proceeds from super chats. So if you do send in a super chat, they help me out a whole bunch. But let's get into the show, guys, because this one, this is going to be, I feel like normally on all these shows, I usually come on here and I usually put over how good the show was, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm usually like, yeah, this show rocked. This episode rocked. This rocked. That rocked. All of that. But I'm just going to be brutally honest with everybody here. Please do not hate me, but this was not my favorite episode of AEW Dynamite. I think this was probably my least favorite episode of this year that I can recall, because there was a lot of things that I kind of felt were just like, they were just like, okay, meh. Like, we got a couple of good stuff. We had a pretty entertaining main event that was kind of ruined by something that, for me, was kind of made it hard for me to enjoy the match, which I will get into in just a second. But I just thought, for the most part, it was not my favorite episode of Dynamite. But we will talk about all of that and more here today. So I'm curious, based off of that alone, I want to get some overall thoughts about how you guys felt about this episode of Dynamite before we get into the nitty-gritty details of what actually went down in the show. Did you like this episode of Dynamite? Was it okay? Was it your favorite? I don't know. Go ahead and send in your thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and pull up some of the ones that we got here. But first and foremost, we kick things off with our first super chat of the evening. Thank you so much to Reggie Simmons, who says, man, we got to talk about Cody's back. No, please. All right. So first and foremost, we now know what was on Cody's back. Okay. It obviously had, to do with the, the flames on the table and all of that stuff. Okay. We all get that. But for the longest time, I was like, I don't know what is on Cody's back at this point. I don't care. But that kind of stuff makes me it makes my skin very, very, it gives me chills, and I had goosebumps the entire match. And all I wanted to do was just wipe it off. So it kind of was hard for me to get into the match itself when I kept distracting myself with that. And the entire match, I was literally scratching my own skin because stuff like that, even talking about it right now, I have goosebumps on my arms and my back itself. But we'll go ahead and talk about all of that and more in just a second. Let's see what we got here. We got another super chat. This one is from Joseph Babula, who says, super chat for Denise cringing over Cody's back. I'm sorry, guys. I know a lot of people were like, don't worry. A lot of people, it's not a big deal. But for me, it kind of was because I was watching the match, and that's just how I felt about it. But anyways, we'll get into that in just a second. But thank you so much to Joseph for sending in that super chat here. But let me get some comments on how you guys felt about the show. I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on here. So let me pull out a few here. This one is from Pomi Wrestling, who says, overall enjoyed the show, but definitely felt like a filler show en route to Winter is Coming. Still a 3.5 out of 5. I like how we're rating these shows. I think if I were going to give it a grade, I'd probably give it like a C or something. I compare it to some of the other shows that I've just liked a whole lot more. We are definitely en route to Winter is Coming, and we had a massive match, the massive match essentially announced for Winter is Coming. Prior to the show, Tony Khan did announce that we're going to be getting Hangman Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson at Winter is Coming. And so far, it's shaping up to be a noteworthy show, at least for that one match that has already been announced. And let's go through a couple more comments here. This one is from... Let me see. I'm going to go through some more, make sure I got some good thoughts on what you guys felt about it. This one is from 554K, who says, I thought it was a good show. I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but it was not bad. Theft for the Righteous says, sounds like you have a phobia. I do have a phobia. It's something that I've struggled with, guys. I have a phobia of that kind of stuff, and it's not fun to live with, okay? It's not fun to live with. Pro Wrestling Fan says, love the show. Main event was great. Just a little overbooked, as all Cody matches are, but I like him, and if it was a table, was moved back a little bit, it would have been great man's. Was literally on fire. Yeah, it was a good main event. I thought they did a lot of good stuff, which we'll talk about in just a second. But let's get some more comments. This one is from Quab, who says, the Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy segment was awful, and the Leo Rush FTR segment was even worse. So awkward to watch, and the crowd was dead silent. So obviously some people did not necessarily like it, but some people did. So it depends on what you like, guys. And let's go through a couple more comments. This one's from Holy Geo, who says that the show was awesome. We got a couple more people saying the show was awesome. Dietrich Harris says, AEW, the main event, each episode. I'm loving Andrade, El Idolo even more. The stuff on Cody's back was the finish off the table, burned off the artificial wood top. Super chat from Brandon Rosen, who says, love the show overall. Only weak point for me was the Taz Leo Rush segment. Interesting. Okay, we'll get into that in just a second. But we got a lot of people putting over some good stuff on here. So I think for this particular show, there's people that liked it, people that did not. But for the most part, I think a lot of people did like it. Amir F says, Cody's back gave you the heebie-jeebies. I can't believe all of these super chats are about that so far. Let's get into the show, everybody, because we got plenty to talk about here today. So we got our opening match of the day, which was Bryan Danielson versus Allin Angels at number 5 of the Dark Order. As we know, Bryan Danielson is making his way through the Dark Order members, and we had Hangman Adam Page on commentary for this. I think this match was like a harmless opening match, all right? So the way that I felt about this one is this wasn't necessarily like, oh my God, this is a match that I can't wait for Bryan Danielson to wrestle Allin Angels. Like, it probably wasn't like the one that you're like, oh, I'm like the top of your bucket list, right? But given that, I thought that the match was pretty fun, especially because they made mention about the fact that Allin Angels literally graduated in that exact same venue that they were in tonight. And I just thought, man, how cool is it that the guy freaking graduated in that venue? And now, you know, how many years later, here he is on national television in the opening match for one of the biggest wrestling promotions in the world. Like, if you ask me, that is freaking cool. So I really liked that they kind of like made sure to tell us, because I did not know that. I was not privy to any of that information. So for me, I thought that that kind of made this match a little bit more fun. And the crowd obviously, like, they're going to, you know, be behind Allin. So that was really nice to see too. It kind of made it a little bit more exciting. But for Bryan Danielson, he's just leveling up the heel work, man. And I bloody love it. Like, here's the thing about Bryan Danielson, whether he's a babyface, whether he's a heel, whatever he's doing in the ring, it always works because he is good at his job. And I did think that Bryan Danielson kind of took it a little easy on him at the top of this match. You saw him hit, you know, a couple of strikes on Allin, but for the most part, we did get to see a little bit more offense than we were probably expecting from Allin's part. So that was pretty cool to see as well. But for the most part, we did get to see Bryan Danielson eventually get the win in this match here. Probably some of my favorite parts were really just like the finish, to be honest. I really like the finish because I just like Bryan Danielson beating the hell out of people. One of his favorite things that he likes to say is he likes to kick people's heads in. He definitely did that to close off this match with Allin Angels here. But this probably was not my favorite Bryan Danielson match, but that's fine. He's had so many great matches that I think this was just a fun overall match here. But post-match, though, we got a lot of stuff that went down. We essentially had Bryan Danielson essentially mock Allin Angels. He's mocking him, and he starts basically putting over how he knocked out Colt Cabana's tooth the week prior, and now he probably tore Allin's MCL. And I like how he basically tells the crowd, "You guys don't even know what an MCL is." And then it's revealed that he's going to be essentially later on, he's going to be wrestling John Silver. But prior to that, we do have him getting, under Adam Page's skin, because he basically starts telling him, hey, you're a one-hit wonder. You're not cowboy shit. You're coward shit. This is something Bryan Danielson has been saying nonstop to Adam Page, and Adam Page has had enough of this. He's about to go in, run in, and attack Bryan Danielson. But apparently, Tony Khan has basically said that they cannot touch each other. And so that was essentially put forth. So because Hangman Page couldn't put his hands on Bryan Danielson, John Silver instead essentially runs into the ring to get his hands on Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson literally mocks him by basically saying that he's not on his level, that he's not gonna, not going to get in there with John Silver, etc. So I kind of like this. I thought this was fun, and we are going to get that match. So what did you guys think of this? Go ahead and send in your thoughts. I see a lot of comments coming in here, so I'm going to get a couple of these, and let's see what you guys are saying here. And all right, this one is from Justin Martin, who says, Danielson is in such a zone that this was just a garden variety nice match for him. Next week's match versus Silver should be better. I freaking love John Silver, so I do think that match is going to be really good, because anytime you see John Silver in the ring, I think that he definitely goes full throttle. So I definitely am expecting a pretty good matchup with that one. I really, really do think it's going to be a good one. So we'll see about that there. And let's go through a couple more comments. This one is from Lenny Banner, who says, Danielson is really ramping it up, has had a great touch. I don't think this will be done after Winter is coming in 2 weeks. I hope not. Even though here's the thing, AEW is really good at not doing a bunch of rematches or anything like that. But I don't mind this story with Hangman Page and Bryan Danielson essentially being elongated a little bit more. I do not mind it whatsoever, because I think that it's only going to add to both guys. So I don't see it ending at Winter is Coming. Obviously, I still don't have a prediction for what I think is going to happen at Winter is Coming. I am expecting Hangman Page to win. I'm not expecting Hangman Page to lose anytime soon. Definitely not expecting that. But either way, I do think that this will go on a little bit longer. At least I kind of hope so. And let's get through a couple of other comments. This one's from Rodney Jenkins, who says, they misspelled Hangman's name on the Winter is Coming graphics. They did? I didn't notice that. What? I'm going to have to go back and look. I did not notice that at all. So thank you for pointing that out. I like little things like that. A little random tidbits here and there. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Alrighty, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on. But friendly reminder, make sure to take part in the chat. If you want to make sure your comment, question, or statement gets read on the stream, feel free to send in a super chat, and I will make sure to read your comment as well. All right, guys. Oh, thank you. Lenny says, okay, apparently his name was not misspelled. Apparently it was just the font. All right, thanks, guys, because I thought for a second, what? They misspelled his name? That's nuts. But they did not. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I feel like a lot of people would have been commenting about that, and I didn't see anything about that. So let's go ahead and jump into our next topic here. So after this, we got a promo from Miro. Miro has been killing it on these promos, guys, and I particularly liked the way that they shot this promo, because when I was watching this, I had my one side of my computer desk essentially had AEW Dynamite. The other side had my notes tab. And I think I was on Twitter or something. I was writing something down and the show was playing. And for some reason, I thought, because I kind of saw it from the corner of my eyes and I saw the white screen, I thought it was one of those like cell phone commercials. Like, you know, the Verizon one where they have that one girl walking around and she's like, hey, like this phone is free, that phone, get up to 5G. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but I thought it was that commercial for a second. I was like, what? And it wasn't until a couple seconds later when I was like, shit, this is AEW. Crap, I gotta rewind. So I did like the way that they shot this with the big white backdrop, and you see Miro in all of these different sizes. So I thought that that was pretty dope. And I kind of want to see more different stuff like this. I think the different visuals just add so much more and kind of boost up the promo work by having all of those cool visual elements added to it. And let's get some comments in here, see what people are saying. This one is from Manaleek34, who says, Miro is going to kill God. Jesus. Dylan Chandon says, Miro looked like he was in the SmackDown 2007 intro, but he looked pissed. I'm really interested to see who's going to feud with next. Yeah, I am too, because for Miro, you know, obviously recently lost the TNT championship. His wife still hasn't forgiven him, from what we know of, still has not forgiven him. So he needs to redeem himself there. So I think that's going to be some good stuff there as well. And we got a person, Estilo Latino, who says that it made Miro look like he's in purgatory. Jesus. Sour Machine Gun, the loss to Bryan, put him in purgatory. This one's from Lord Pelagius, who says, Miro looked like he was wandering around the White Room in The Matrix. I haven't seen The Matrix in a really long time, so I don't even remember that. But yeah, I really like that, guys. Let's get into this next match. We got CM Punk versus Lee Moriarty. So this is going to be interesting, guys, because this was a match that I think a lot of people were really looking forward to. Lee Moriarty is literally one of these hot up-and-coming talents. I got to see Lee wrestle in person over at PWG. When I saw him in PWG, I was like literally blown the hell away by him. And I think I saw him at another place too, but I don't remember where I got to see him. But I know for a fact I saw him at PWG. So for me, going into this match, that was sort of what I had in back of my mind, was the stuff that I saw him do at PWG. So already I was like, all right, cool. I'm stoked for this. Let's see what he brings to the table with this match against CM Punk. And that's the thing now. CM Punk has essentially been wrestling all of these different guys that you wouldn't necessarily have thought like, oh, these are the guys that are going to be having matches against CM Punk. But for the most part, all of those matches have sort of been different and unique in their own ways, which personally I really enjoy. But the thing about this match is that we had MJF on commentary, and MJF's on commentary, and he is burying CM Punk. He is burying him the entire time. Like, he is basically saying that the CM and CM Punk stands for cookie meth. That promo that they did last week, he was throwing a lot of shots at CM Punk, at the way that he looks, at the way that, MJF says that he looks tired, that he's the one that should be taking the GTS because he needs to take a nap, and all of this different stuff that he was saying about CM Punk's looks. And he continued with that throughout his commentary today. And during this match, he was kind of like burying CM Punk in the sense where he was basically saying like, how is this the CM Punk, the great CM Punk that everybody loves? Like, this isn't the CM Punk that I'm a fan of. Look at him. Like, he's struggling to, get a win over Lee Moriarty. So in a way like that, kind of like, there was two different elements to this match. There was the element of listening to everything that you had MJF saying in this match, where he's like attacking CM Punk. And then the other one was kind of like, all right, I want to see what magic unfolds between CM Punk and Lee Moriarty. So in that sense, I do think that the MJF commentary took a little bit away from the actual match, because I found myself a little bit more focused on the storytelling part of it with MJF and CM Punk versus the CM Punk Lee Moriarty actual match there. So I did kind of feel a little bit distracted on that end of things. But either way, I thought this match was nice. My favorite part of it was really, CM Punk hitting the Hurricanrana. Lee Moriarty reversing that and them essentially going back and forth with those pins. I thought that was pretty fun. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the match. I thought that Lee Moriarty hit a really nice clothesline on CM Punk, a really good boot to the face as well. That was fun to see. Eventually, we see CM Punk get the win with the GTS. So I would say that this was a solid showcase for Lee Moriarty, especially for that Dynamite audience, people that haven't seen him, do other stuff. I think that this was a nice showcase for Lee Moriarty. I would have liked to seen a little bit more, I think, in terms of some of the other guys that we've seen that have had more of these like explosive standout performances. I don't necessarily know if I would put the Lee Moriarty one there for me, in my personal opinion, but I still thought that he had a really nice, solid showcase during this match. So before we get to the MJF stuff, guys, before we get to the MJF, Britt Baker, CM Punk stuff, I want to get your thoughts on the CM Punk Lee Moriarty match and MJF on commentary, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the MJF stuff because that kind of opened a whole other can of worms, which we will get to in just a second. But we got a super chat from Brandon Rosen who says, do you think MJF actually gets cheered in Long Island? It reminds me of when heel Bret Hart was cheered in Canada but booed everywhere else. P.S. I popped for MJF's Hanukkah suit. I feel like yes and no. Yes, because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, like you're going to expect that from Long Island, right? That's what you would expect. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, what if they don't? Because they know like essentially he's such a good heel that I feel that it'll actually work where the crowd will actually boo him. So it is going to be interesting. I can't even say convincingly I know what to expect from that crowd. Like I honestly cannot give you a straight answer on that one. But thank you so much to Brandon Rosen for sending in that super chat here. Let's get some thoughts here on what people were saying here. Let's see. Let's get some good comments in here. And this is a funny one. This is from Knockout Panda who says, Brett is a national hero. MJF is just a jerk. This one's from Heckman who says, Lee made out, got put over kinda by MJF on commentary and Punk in the ring. He did. If you think about it, he kind of did because obviously CM Punk is on this whole other level, and you kind of have him in there sort of struggling with Lee Moriarty, which is something that MJF mentioned on commentary. And even afterwards in that post-match promo that we're going to talk about in just a second, he did mention that too. So like in a way, it's kind of like a shot at Lee Moriarty because he's basically saying like, oh, he's not on CM Punk's level, but we all know that. So it depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it here. So that's a comment from Heckman there, but let's get a couple more comments. This one is from Mac who says, it was a good match and Lee looked great, even better than Punk in my opinion. Punk was a little slow and it wasn't his best match, but I still enjoyed it. The crowd didn't care at all though. Yeah, I think in terms of, see, this is the thing that I've noticed about a lot of AEW matches. There have been some matches that for me, I thought were like, okay, like they were mediocre, whatever, but the crowd, depending on what city they're in, they could really elevate a match and bring it to a whole other level. There have been matches that, let's say you weren't watching with the crowd, you were just watching in mute, it would be an okay match, but because you got the crowd that's really into it, it makes a mediocre match even better. So I do think that maybe they could have, that could have obviously helped them out just a little bit more on that end of things. And let's go through a couple more comments here. And let's see what people are saying. And this is a comment from Church of Platinum who says, Punk is not on another level from Lee in terms of in-ring ability. Ooh. All right. That's definitely up to everybody's opinion on that, guys. And we have a lot of people basically talking about how they did not like the crowd this time around. Yeah, it was not the hottest crowd. It was not the hottest crowd. No, definitely not. All right, and let's go through. This one is from El Profe Jr. 88, who says they shouldn't do back-to-back CM Punk and Bryan matches when the results are too obvious. I haven't thought about that, to be honest. I really had not thought about that. There was something else, which I'll talk about in a second, that I kind of thought they shouldn't have done back to back, but I'll mention that as we bring into it. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys, because this next MJF promo did not necessarily get the or maybe it did get the reception they might have wanted or didn't get the reception they might have wanted. I'm very curious to hear what people had to say, what your guys' thoughts were on this. So post-match, we have MJF come out on the microphone, and he basically tells CM Punk that he's proud of him. He tells him he's proud of him, and I'm thinking at this moment, oh, he's going somewhere. Where is he going with this? But I did not predict that this was the direction that MJF was going to go in. But MJF tells CM Punk that he's proud of him, and he tells him, quote, "It takes a lot of balls to say that you're the best in the world when you're struggling to beat the lights out of Lee Moriarty and QT Marshall." And I liked that. I really liked that line because it is true. We just mentioned that, these are relative, like Lee Moriarty is a young up-and-coming talent. So CM Punk, yeah, he's been gone away from 7 years, but given the fact that he's, the best in the world, you do expect it to be a little bit more of a quicker match, right? Finish him a lot faster. So I like this line from MJF. I'm like, all right. And QT Marshall, like that's not, it ain't Kenny Omega. It ain't Bryan Danielson. It ain't that caliber of a wrestler. So it makes sense for him to say this line. I was like, all right, cool. I like this line from MJF. All right. But then we continue on. He continues on. And this is the part where I'm like, okay, I did not know that this was where this was going. And he says, quote, "I guess the only thing you're the best in the world in nowadays is trying to get in Britt Baker's pants." Then they cut to a shot of CM Punk's face where he looks pretty disappointed or pretty just like, ugh. And he says, MJF follows up by saying, "You look unamused. Coincidentally, that's exactly what Britt would look like if you got her in the bedroom." So this was the line these were two portions of what MJF said today that a lot of people were not happy with. And I know that they were not happy with because I saw the tweets and people did not like that comment. I'm curious here. I did not expect it to go this direction. I know why he said it because CM Punk has been putting over Britt Baker a lot, but that's because she's good at what she does, right? That's what us, the fans, saw. That's how us, the fans, saw it. But MJF being a heel transformed it into, oh, this is CM Punk wanting to get into Britt Baker's pants. So that was like the heel version of this, okay? Now, we all know that that's not the case. We all know CM Punk ain't trying to get in Britt Baker's pants. We all know this. Now, there are a lot of people that felt that this line was unnecessary, that it was, I guess, crossing a line. I'm curious, chat, how did you feel about this? Do you think MJF crossed a line here with this Britt Baker comment? Or do you think it all falls in line to possible seeds that they are planting? Those possible seeds being Adam Cole, CM Punk, Adam Cole, MJF, etc. Go ahead and send in your thoughts on this one. Let's see what the people think here. And we got a lot of people sending in some interesting stuff. And this is the one where, okay, I'm getting so many different comments here. So let me make sure I get a couple of let's get some good ones in here, guys. Let's get some good ones. All right. Let's go through a couple. I'm trying to find some good ones that we got here where people give some interesting thoughts here. And this one is from Question the Mark, who says, "The whole story is Punk having trouble with young wrestlers and building himself up. If he came back and was dominant, it wouldn't be as good as storytelling." Okay. Let's get into these comments here about Church Platinum says MJF triggered the marks. AEW Rules says, "What did Britt do to get these two to trash her?" Question mark. And Lenny Banner says Punk was like, "Really? This is where we're going." Will the Gamer says this was kind of cringe. And Donzel says they did not need to bring up Britt Baker. Labor Day says, "Why wouldn't they be happy with it? That doesn't make sense to be offended by." And let's go through a couple more comments. This one is from Carney Business, who says, "Also pretty odd Britt did not have a response to this when her promo directly followed this." So this was the thing that, so somebody earlier mentioned that they didn't think that Bryan Danielson CM Punk matches should be happening back to back, and I hadn't thought about it, but immediately after this, we do get a promo from Britt Baker where she's being interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and they did not ask her about this. I definitely thought that they should have asked her about this. That could have been an opportunity for Britt Baker to like burn MJF for saying those comments. I did think it was kind of a little bit of a missed opportunity for Britt Baker to sort of get her edge back in this, because she was kind of used in that MJF CM Punk segment. So she was kind of used there. Like, her name was thrown around. I think that given that her promo followed right after that, they should have definitely had her react in some sort of way, however way she wanted to. It could have been an easy way for her to maybe burn MJF for saying those like disgusting remarks about her. So I did think I agree with that comment where I think it was pretty odd that they went right into that and did not address that. So let's go through a couple more comments. This one's from Justin, who says, the promo wasn't MJF's best work, just too lowbrow for the sake of being lowbrow. The Hanukkah suit was outstanding, though, enough to make Seth Rollins jealous. It was a great suit. The Hanukkah suit was really, really cool. But we got Wrestle War also saying that Britt is cool with it. I saw a lot of people that did not like this comment. This one's from Jake Larson, who says, I don't like it because it devalues Britt Baker to a sexual object when she's an amazing wrestler and performer. So a lot of people definitely saw this that way. I did not think they needed the line. However, if Britt Baker was okay with this line and she was totally cool with it, and from the looks of it, she may have been, because MJF tweeted out a photo of him and Britt Baker immediately after that. I don't necessarily see it as something where I'm like, oh my God, I'm angry about this or anything like that. Like, I don't feel angry like the way that a lot of people were angry about this on Twitter, because I did see a lot of people that were like, this is not funny, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it does not seem like Britt Baker necessarily had an issue with this. Now, was it needed? Maybe not necessarily not needed, but it kind of depends on how you look at this. We got a comment from Buckster888 who says it was a good heel line, but then we got Avery Sem saying, nah, it was just cheap heat. We got a comment from Kalano Shutters who says it didn't cross the line. It was just a bad line. Yeah, again, it was not needed. I'm assuming they're planting seeds, but when you don't have Britt Baker react to it, and right after that, they had the Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy, Young Bucks segment. You don't have Adam Cole saying anything. I think they could have given, again, Britt Baker a little bit of her edge back by saying something. This one is from Stan Fines, who says, it's not crossing a line just out of nowhere. Unnecessary is more the case. It definitely was out of nowhere, which is what I just said. And also, like, everybody knows here's the thing, like, I almost feel like those types of lines, they don't work too, because everybody knows CM Punk is a married man. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows Britt Baker's a married woman. So it's kind of like, but we like, like it doesn't make sense necessarily. It does not make sense. This is a comment from Josh Bowen, who says, hey, creative freedom. MJF is a heel. He's supposed to be hated, like legitimately hated. MJF shouldn't get cheered anywhere. That's what a good heel does. Makes you legitimately believe they are trash. And while we see it as a way of like, we all know and respect Britt Baker for what she does and how she performs in the ring, right? But MJF, who is a heel, is not going to see things that way. So again, I really do think it depends on how you view this, guys. It depends on how you view this. And let's go through a couple more comments. We got people saying it was a seed for MJF, Adam Cole. We got a lot of people also saying that it was a seed for Adam Cole, CM Punk. So there's another thing there. This is a comment from Aztec Warrior, who says, he definitely crossed the line because Britt had nothing to do with this. Maybe Max should keep his trap shut, or Adam Cole is going to hunt him down. So here's the thing too, like, so the reason why I feel like they brought this up too is because last week CM Punk told MJF that he didn't even realize that Britt Baker had essentially replaced him as one of the 4 pillars. And we also know that CM Punk's first opening line when he first debuted into AEW was about Britt Baker. So I think it was like an easy, it was an easy shot for MJF here. We got a comment from Slayer who says the sexist comments are cheap heat. This isn't the Attitude Era. Kris says, nah, MJF doesn't run out of ammo. He's literally a shark on the mic. Vivek Patel says MJF always crosses the line. That's why he's MJF. Check his latest post on Twitter. I have not seen his latest post on Twitter. The last thing I saw was that picture that he posted with Britt Baker. I don't know if that was the latest thing that he posted on Twitter. And let's see what else we got here. Chris McMullen says Britt is a heel. She's team MJF. Britt posed with MJF on Twitter. She did. She definitely did. And let's go through a couple more comments here. We got so many on this one, guys. I'm trying to get through a couple more. But I think we kind of got the point here. We got the point that that some people like this line. Some people did not like this line. Some people, and thank you so much to Aztec Warrior for correcting me. Britt's engaged, not married. Pardon me, guys. Correction on that part. But either way, she's engaged. So you guys got the point of this. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the next topic here. Once again, go ahead and send me your thoughts on how you guys felt about this. Did you like the line? Did you not like the line? Did you feel that it went too far in a good way or a bad way? Go ahead and let me know whether you're watching right now live. You can tweet me, or you guys can also go ahead and post a comment in the comment section below of this video. Additionally, I do want to remind you guys all that I am live 3 times a week here on F4W Online. On Tuesdays, I'm live to chat about NXT 2.0. On Wednesdays, I am on here talking AEW Dynamite. And then Friday, I'm on here chatting Smackdown and Rampage. So it's usually a fun 3 days here on F4W. But let's go ahead and let's go on to the next topic, guys. All right, guys. Let's see. What do we got next here? All right, let's get into. All right, so we already talked about the Britt Baker interview with Tony Schiavone that they did right afterwards. I did think that they should have addressed that. She should have said something there or whatever. Whatever she wanted to say would have been cool. After this, we get into the Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy, Young Bucks deal. So Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy have this moment on the stage where they're essentially like staring each other down, and then the Young Bucks creep up from behind. So it kind of seems like the Young Bucks are probably going to attack Orange Cassidy from behind. But instead, once Orange Cassidy realizes that they're behind him, Adam Cole gets him with a low blow, which was really messed up. And then the Young Bucks essentially mock Orange Cassidy by doing the slow motion super kicks the way that, Orange Cassidy would do them. So he does that. They eventually hit him with an actual super kick. This was like, it was all right. It was all right, guys. I don't know. This didn't feel hot for me, so I kind of want to blow through this. But if you guys had any thoughts, go ahead and let me know. This one was from Dietrich Harris, who says, "What was the purpose of the Adam Cole cheap pop to the ring?" It didn't really do much for me. Can't even give you an answer. Didn't really do that much for me, honestly. And this one's from Donzel, who says the segment with the Elite and Best Friends was because it was kind of just there, guys. It was just there. This is from Church of Platinum, who says that segment could have been decent if the crowd had reacted. And Pile Driver Finisher says, finally, Orange Cassidy getting a taste of his own medicine. Eric Storm says that was one brutal super kick party. And Board Guy says, Chugs looks pissed during his entrance. He was selling MJF's line about Britt. Absolutely storyline. And let's see. All right. I think we got it here. Cool. Let's go ahead and hop into the next comment here. Oh, Lord Pelagius says he came out to do commentary, murdered Orange, then left without doing any commentary. Bizarre. That is true. I didn't even point that out. That is true. See, guys, like this was that one didn't really make that much sense to me, but let's go ahead and move on. After this, we get a match between AC Adams and Wardlow. This was a squash match. Wardlow comes in, hits a couple of power bombs. He hits 4 power bombs on this guy and ends up winning the match. Let's get into this next match. We got the Gunn Club versus Darby and Sting. And Sting, guys, he came in with the Darby face paint, which I freaking loved. I love that so much. He looked awesome. I can't even, like, obviously the Sting face paint is iconic and that's not going to be replaced ever, but I really, really dig him with the Darby face paint. Like, I kind of want to see it more often. Like, he looks like a angry, I don't know. He just looks like, I don't know. I like it. All right, let's get into this. Who would have thought that in 2021 in an AEW ring, we would be getting a face-off between Billy Gunn and Sting? Seriously, though, think about that. In 2021, that was one of the things that tripped me out during this match. Like, when I really thought about it, I was like, who the hell would have thought? But anyways, this match, honestly, like, it was not the greatest match. It definitely picked up, obviously, once Sting got the hot tag. He goes in there. He hits the Stinger Splash on both guys. That was fun. That's probably my favorite part of this match. Sting locks in the Scorpion Deathlock on Colton, and he's about to get the win, but instead Austin ends up breaking it up. And then Darby literally does a dive, like, straight out onto Austin, taking him out. And then there's a moment where I actually thought Colton was I was gonna be pissed, but there was a split second where I thought Colton was gonna get the pin on Sting, and I was like, Lord, please don't tell me they're going to do this. They didn't do it. I was very happy that they did not do it, but in the end, we do see Sting hit the death drop on Colton, and that is how he eventually gets the win for his team. Right call. All of that good stuff. We also saw Darby literally pop out of the freaking television screen like he always does. That was pretty awesome too. But this match was not really anything special. It was kind of just there. But we got to put over Billy Gunn here because this is a comment from Drew Scott who says Billy Gunn looks incredible for his age. He really does. Really, really does here. And let's see what else we got. Let's go through a couple more comments. And this is Sour Machine Gun who says, you're crazy if you don't think they are giving Sting one last run with the tag bouts with Darby. I don't know. I mean, I would not mind it, but I do not know. Cornell Horton says Sting's 1 year anniversary tomorrow. Oh, is tomorrow the date? Oh, man. Yeah, because that was winter's coming. So, okay, cool. All right, let's get into this. Next topic that we got here, we got an attack from 2.0 and Daniel Garcia where they attacked Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is backstage doing an interview with Alex Marvez, addressing why he helped out Eddie Kingston on Rampage, essentially saying that he didn't do it for Eddie Kingston, but he did it because of freaking 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. But before he can finish his explanation, he is jumped by all three guys and they attack him backstage. Cool. This is the direction we're heading in. All right. I guess it's fine. We also find out that Chris Jericho is not going to be on Rampage this week. Cool. Good stuff. I don't really got much to say, guys. Like, I kind of feel like the 2.0 Daniel Garcia thing, the Chris Jericho attack. All right, we're going somewhere, but I'm not necessarily like, I'm not super hyped up about it. It's just there, but it's fine. It's fine. It's just there. Let's see what we got here. This one is from Dylan Shandon, who says, we definitely will see Eddie and Jericho taking on common enemies. Yeah, we're bound to get that. That's bound to happen. That's clearly the direction we're going to be headed in here. Our Riggs, he did it for The Rock. That's never going to get over. It's never going to get over. And let's see what else we got here. All right, cool. Let's move on. Let's get into this Lio Rush thing. So a lot of us weren't expecting Dante Martin to essentially to join up with Team Taz. We were surprised. None of us saw it coming. At least a lot of us didn't. This is what we were talking about last week. A lot of us did not see it coming. I don't know if this is going to end up being a swerve, if Dante Martin is just playing Lio Rush or what. I do not know what's going to happen here. But Lio Rush essentially comes out and he addresses Team Taz, basically saying that he's a fighter and then he's not going to go down without a fight. And Taz kind of throws a shot at him and tells him to retire, that he is done. And that's been the common shot that has been thrown at Lio Rush a lot because we all know that he has the history of doing those retirements. So Taz ends up throwing a shot at that. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Lio Rush Lio Rush was freaking confused. Like, he had the face of like, what the frick is going on with Dante Martin? Why did he do this? Etc. And I feel just as confused as Lio Rush. I don't know if Dante Martin is playing Team Taz, if he's playing Lio Rush. I kind of have a feeling that he is playing Team Taz, where like he might not necessarily be as part of Team Taz as we might think he is going to be. That's the direction I think that they might be headed in, but I'm not entirely sure here. But let's see what we got here. We got people basically saying they missed Top Flight. We got to mention Hook. Hook's been eating those damn potato chips. He's been eating potato chips a lot lately. I've been noticing it now. I think the last 2 weeks. I don't know if he was doing it before, but I remember it the last 2 weeks. Paul points out that Taz was referencing the Scott Steiner math promo. He was. He threw in a little bit of math in there. This is a comment from Vivek who says, stuff with Lio Rush is cool as hell. Cannot wait for Lio Rush versus Dante. It has vibes like the Captain America versus Winter Soldier. Lio Rush versus Dante Martin. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be freaking phenomenal because they both can wrestle a very fast-paced style that will be very enjoyable to watch. And let's see what we got here. This is a comment from Dylan who says, I absolutely love Dante with Team Taz. It brings a different feel to him, and I'm excited to see what he does now that he's with Team Taz. Clearly, though, he feels bad for Lio. Yeah, like I don't feel like he's that... I don't know. Maybe he's definitely got a soft spot for Lio Rush. That's what I'm sensing there. Just a tad bit there. See, it's kind of hard to read Dante Martin. Dante Martin's not the kind of guy that you read off very well. I feel like he doesn't show so much emotion. Like, I feel like I have a hard time reading what he's thinking, what may be going on with Dante Martin. But I do kind of like him with Team Taz, though, because I've always liked Team Taz. We got a super chat from 554K. Thank you so much for sending this in, saying, okay, this might be a little bit off topic, but sorry to spam you with tweets. I love spreading positive vibes. I love to promote awesome people. Thank you so much, man. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate each and every single viewer that comes on to these shows, engages with me on these shows, on Twitter or wherever we engage. I really, really thank you guys, and thank you for sending in the super chat. BTW, guys, if you want to make sure your comment gets read on the air, if you're like, damn it, Denise, I've been sending in all these brilliant comments and you haven't seen it, curse you, Denise Salcedo. You can send in a super chat. I will make sure to read your comment. Those are the easiest way to get your comment read on the air. Additionally, they help me out. They keep me fed. We got a super chat from official Matt Games who says, it's nearly 4 a.m. here in the UK. I'm off to bed. I appreciate you even watching this show at that hour because I would be knocked the hell out. Thank you so much to official Matt Games here. All right, guys. And let's get into... we got a Thunder Rosa promo backstage with Jade Cargill. We find out that not only is Jade Cargill going to be in action with one of Thunder Rosa's students on AEW Rampage, but Thunder Rosa will be doing commentary on that. So that should be fun. I think Thunder Rosa will let Jade Cargill have it, probably curse her out in Spanish. It'll be fantastic. All right, let's get into this TBS tournament match. We got Kris Statlander versus Ruby Soho. This was a fun match, guys. I'm a big fan of Kris Statlander. It's like, I like Ruby Soho too, but I feel like Kris Statlander, I don't know if I feel like she deserves more love, man. I feel like she's a little underrated. I don't know if that's the proper thing to say, but I kind of feel like Kris Statlander should be getting a little bit more love, man, a little bit more of a push. And she's been doing good, obviously. She was in the first round bye. She made it this far in the tournament, but I really think that they have a lot with Kris Statlander. Like, I'm a fan of hers. But this was a fun little matchup. We see Ruby hit a senton off the top rope. That's pretty fun. We see Kris hit a Blue Thunder Bomb. That's a good spot as well, too. We see Ruby Soho hit her with an elbow, a headbutt, a couple of punches. That's some good stuff as well. Ruby hits her with a really awesome Poison Rana, and then Kris Statlander is literally on her knees, and Ruby Soho hits her with a Hurricane Rana. Eventually, Ruby Soho ends up getting the win, which is what we were expecting here, and now she's going to go off to face Nyla Rose. So here's what we're looking at here with the tournament, the TBS Women's Championship. We're going to be getting Thunder Rosa versus Jade Cargill, and then we're going to be getting Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho. We're down to the final four, ladies and gentlemen, and I think, like, my pick here for who I would want to win is Thunder Rosa. If Thunder Rosa weren't to win, I would want to see Ruby Soho win. But I definitely do think that we are going to be seeing I don't know, guys. I have a feeling that it's definitely going to be Jade. I have a feeling, but we will see what happens here. Send in your thoughts, guys. What do you think about this tournament? Who the hell is going to win? We got people predicting that it's going to be Cargill versus Ruby Soho. And we got Justin saying Ruby versus Statlander was a fantastic match. So many counters for everything and one final counter to the Big Bang Theory for the win. Great wrestling. And we got people rooting for Jade here. A lot of people are predicting that it's going to be Jade and Ruby Soho. And we got a lot of people saying that they think it's going to be Jade winning. Josh Razuka says, Denise, can you please translate what Thunder Rosa said to Jade? She pretty much just told her off. Like it wasn't like, what'd she say? I'm trying to remember what she said. But she basically just like told her off, guys. Like that was pretty much the gist of that there. And let's go through a couple more comments. This one's from Lenny, who says, if Thunder Rosa wins, we're not getting Baker Rosa until Full Gear 2022. And I think a lot of people do want to see Thunder Rosa eventually get the AEW women's title. I think there's a good chance that we're probably going to be seeing Jade Cargill get the win here, guys. I think there's a pretty positive chance. So it's probably going to be Jade Cargill versus Ruby Soho. That would probably make the most sense. If they're going to have Jade Cargill win, it should be Jade Cargill, Ruby Soho. If they were going to have Thunder Rosa win, it should be Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, if they were going to do it that way. Although, if I was just booking this off of what I want to see, it would be Thunder Rosa, Ruby Soho. But I don't think that's the direction that they are heading in. All right, and let's go ahead and move on from this, guys. So that was a nice match, though, that we had between Ruby Soho and Kris Statlander. All right, after this, what do we got next? Let's talk about some of the matches that were announced for this week. We got Pac and Penta teaming up to face FTR on Rampage this Friday night. We got Sammy Guevara, who is going to be defending his TNT championship against Tony Nese. Like I mentioned, Jade Cargill will be wrestling one of Thunder Rosa's students with Thunder Rosa on commentary. Over on Dynamite, we're going to be having the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal next week and Jamie Hayter versus Riho. And then we're going to have Bryan Danielson versus John Silver. That should be a fun match. And then we already have Winter is Coming up in 2 weeks. And that's going to be Hangman Page versus Danielson for the AEW World title. Now let's get into Cody versus Andrade. The Atlanta street fight, ladies and gentlemen. So we kind of talked about this a little bit. It was revealed I clearly have a phobia, although I already knew that I had this phobia. I've actually spoken about it in other podcasts where there are certain things that make my skin just like, I want to peel my damn skin off, okay? I'll rip it all off, okay? Rip it all off. And the freaking stuff that Cody had on his back nearly killed me, okay? And I guess now we know that it was not sunburn peel, even though it looked like sunburn peel. We now know that it was for the flames that would be used on the table spot. But unfortunately, this distracted me so freaking much during this match. All I wanted to do was just like clean it off and like rip it off. And it was just like, I kid you not, guys, like goosebumps all over my arms, my face, my back. It made me itchy. It sucks, but it kind of took a lot away from me enjoying this match as much as I would have enjoyed this match. It does help knowing now that it wasn't sunburn peel. It does kind of make me feel a little bit better now, but it wasn't easy getting through this match, guys. So as I was watching this match, I think when they showed the close-ups of Cody, that's when I would kind of do the little like, close my eyes for a bit, look someplace else. And then when they zoomed down, it wasn't so obvious. I could enjoy the match like a normal person. But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about what they did here. This was a very fun matchup, okay? They started things off very hot. Poor Arn Anderson. We saw him fall. I don't know if that was accidental or intentional. I do not know, but we saw poor Arn Anderson take a bump there. But either way, we see Andrade attack Cody right off the bat during this match, and they get right into it. Some of my favorite spots that we saw was Andrade throwing the Cody's belt out into the crowd. And if you guys remember, I think it was last week when Cody threw it out to the audience and the person threw it back. Well, this time I do not recall the person throwing it back, though. I think the crowd was essentially like telling the person that caught it to throw it back, but I don't think he did. If he ended up throwing it back, guys, please correct me here in the comments here. But I do not know. I don't recall if he threw it back. I don't think so, because I recall the people like literally booing him for not throwing the belt back. But anyways, thank you. Wrestle War says he kept it. All right. Thank you, guys. I didn't recall him ever tossing it back. But anyways, the crowd went nuts for this. This is definitely going to be a thing now. So hope that if you are at an AEW event, that you're not the one who catches the belt, because you will be peer pressured into throwing the belt back into the ring. And no offense, but I do not want to be that person put in that situation. Okay. I'd rather have somebody else put in that situation. We see Andrade use the laptop. This hurt me, guys. This hurt me. All right. I don't care. Like, if when we're watching wrestling and we see, people get hit with kendo sticks and thumbtacks and chairs, but electronics, not electronics. And here's the reason why I don't like people getting hurt with electronics. Like the cameras, like we always see the camera spot, like people always getting hurt with the cameras, the monitors, and this time the laptop. Because electronics are expensive, all right? They cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and those are things that I could use, and I don't like to see electronics get used like that. Now, unless it was a shitty laptop, then by all means. But if it was like a good laptop, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that, okay? Electronics are expensive. We got a super chat from Crifter C who says Andrade with the table teases. We got some good spots. So there was a moment where Andrade literally, okay, so before we get to that actual moment where he does the hip toss, because he literally does a hip toss onto Cody Rhodes onto the table. But before that, we do have Cody Rhodes teasing that sledgehammer. He brings out this, as he's pulling out weapons from under the ring, he brings out the sledgehammer. And I'm thinking, oh, he's totally going to go for it. But he doesn't. He ends up throwing it back, kind of saying like, oh, I don't need this. So kind of throwing a shot without throwing a shot, directly throwing a shot by not using the sledgehammer, and ends up using the golden shovel. But anyways, we see the escaleta and the splash from Andrade, which was pretty awesome. And then in the end, we do see Brandy Rhodes essentially come out. She is the one that essentially lights up the table. She puts the flames on that, and Cody does the superplex right onto Andrade for the actual win there. So I now have to forgive Cody for the stuff on his back, because now I know what it was for, but it still bothered me a lot during this match. What did you guys think? Go ahead and send in your thoughts. How did you feel about this match? Let's see what you guys thought here. And this one's from TwitchFace4, who says, I heard the person who bought that computer had been planning to send a super chat to Denise. Okay, I didn't know you were going with that with the comment. Damn, that's one viewer lost, one super chat lost, man. Labor Day says that the shovel spot did pop them. A lot of people like this, the freaking shovel spot. That was good stuff there. Josh Bowen says people hate Cody because their face turns. People hate Cody because the face turn feels forced, and Cody continues to screw fans by not turning heel. Yep, that's exactly what it is, guys. Everybody's putting over the shovel spot, BTW. And this is a comment from Incredible Hook, who says, WTF was Cody thinking? He burnt himself and his wife helped him. Wasn't necessary. I mean, it was fine, guys. It was enough to get some like a reaction out of the match. And it's a street fight. Like, I don't mind it. You guys know I love the violence. So the more violence, the better. I love the fire. I'm all here for all of that type of stuff. I'm all here for it. And this is from Dylan, who says, I think now the Andrade and Cody rivalry is done now. I don't know. You would think so, right? You would think that it would be done after this. It should be, but we don't know yet. And let's see what we got. I think we got some more comments here. Homie Wrestling says Atlanta Street Fight, aka AEW, doing everything to annoy Denise without hurting their booking. No, I liked everything that they did in the Atlanta Street Fight. I just like didn't get to enjoy it completely, as some other people probably did, but it was still good stuff there. And all right, did I get everybody's like a lot of the comments here? I want to make sure that people feel included on this podcast, and I get as many as I possibly can here. And all right, I think I got most of it here. This is funny. This is from Duke Tastrophe, who says, it mentions Jose coming out to help out Arn, and then Arn literally punching him again. That was good stuff, guys. I like that. That was a good one. We got Monalik saying that this was a wild one for sure. I agree. And our rig says Cody took the full brunt of the flaming table and then got the pin. Made no sense. Andrade should have won. Yeah, he did get the full brunt of that. His entire back got that. He looked like a marshmallow. Literally like a s'more. Literally just like a s'more. All right, guys. There you go, guys. That was this show. That was the AEW Dynamite quick recap. Well, not quick recap, but recap of the show. I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you guys so much as always. My AEW Dynamite show is usually my most popular show of the week. We always have a good time talking about AEW Dynamite. I will be back again next Wednesday chatting about the show as we make our way into winter is coming. Additionally, I will be here once again on Friday to talk AEW Rampage and WWE Smackdown. 3 hours of wrestling shoved into a 1 hour podcast. Also, if you haven't already, guys, please head on over to my Twitter account @_ Denise Salcedo. I am constantly tweeting about wrestling, making dumb jokes that get me in trouble on Twitter. So please make sure you guys go and follow me. I'm trying to get to 50K by the end of the year. Also, I forgot to mention, I am doing a weekly giveaway every single day this month of December. Every single week, I'm going to be posting a new giveaway up there. Right now, I have one giveaway. The first one that went up today, I am giving away a Funko Pop stand. I actually have it here with me, but hold on one second. This is it. Here's the sample. So I'm not giving away this one that I have with me right now, but this is what it looks like. So it's a stand like this, one of these rings, and this one is actually customized. So whoever wins will get a personalized little ring that they can essentially customize, and you put your Funko Pop in there. So I have the Triple H one, and so I got it personalized to say Triple H so that my Funko could go on there. And so this is the giveaway that I'm doing. The Funko is not included, but whoever wins will just go ahead and let me know what wrestler or whatever they want the personalization on the nameplate to actually be. And so that is the current giveaway that is going on right now on my Twitter page. So if you guys want to enter that, it's on my Twitter page. Just retweet, tag a friend, the good old stuff, and someone will go ahead and get notified. A random winner will be selected by Friday. So these are pretty freaking cool. They're from Connolly Central. One of my friends, Tom Connolly, actually creates these, and he gifted me this. So I decided to make essentially a giveaway again, where a person will get a brand new one, not this one, and a personalized one as well to say whatever they wanted to say on the nameplate. Oops, sorry. Triple H just fell. There, we've got him standing up again. I love this Funko Pop, by the way. It's freaking awesome. All right. Anyway, so there you guys go. Make sure you guys enter that. Do not forget to subscribe to F4W Online. And I will see you guys on Friday for AEW Rampage and Smackdown. Bye, everyone.